next is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the beginning.
The movie you always wanted, right? The story of Leatherface.
Unfortunately, I watched the theatrical cut on Amazon.
Oh, no.
Still pretty gnarly.
Isn't it unrated?
There is an unrated version. I think I watched the not unrated version.
What did your Amazon say? Did it say rate unrated? Or
I think it said rated or theatrical. I remember there was one of these.
Yeah.
I remember I watched the wrong version.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's read the back of the cover here.
Let's do
This
it.
is the prequel to the remake, not to be confused with the prequel to the 3D reboot. We're getting to that one. Don't worry. Don't worry. Okay. Take a bone-chilling journey into evil and witness how Thomas Hewitt. Oh, by the way, the family
Yes.
is now called the Hewitts, and Leatherface is Thomas.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Back up just a little bit. This one begins with fake found footage.
And ends with fake found footage.
And,
Right.
and I knew so many people who thought that was real because they kept saying inspired by a true story. Apparently people would like call up like different like police stations asking if they could see more of that footage.
Did they do that for the original too?
Maybe. I
You
don't
know?
Oh, like, yeah, calling up
The
the police
DVD came with
station.
crime scene photos and shit. Yeah.
Okay, Thomas Hewitt became the infamous and deranged serial killer Leatherface. Born under the most gruesome of conditions, an abandoned baby is found and taken in by the demented Hewitt family. As he grows under their morbid nurturing, Thomas develops a ravenous appetite for chainsaws and torture. This is unfortunate for 4 teens captured by the shady local sheriff and brought to the Hewitt's sadistic house of horrors. There, the teenagers must fight to survive as Thomas, oh God, I minimized the screen, murderous desires are unleashed and Leatherface is born. Maybe I'm in the minority of this one. I actually really like this one.
I don't really like it. I think it's fine.
I think it is better than the actual remake.
Agreed.
Yes! And I thought that years ago. I'm like, oh, the remake was stupid. Let me put this on. I'm like, wow, this feels like it's a setup for a much better movie.
This should have been the first movie, like the remake.
Just change some of the characters to be the ones from the original movie, and it could have
And
worked.
I think it would have worked perfectly because
Yeah.
the way that this story is told, it is a prequel, but it feels more like its own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's a lot of things about this that I don't like because the family wasn't always like weirdly cannibalistic and stuff like that. And they kind of do it at the fucking drop of a dime.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah, that's my biggest
What?
problem with this one, honestly. I mean, there's
oh,
other
wait, no.
nitpicks.
There's something later. One of them was cannibalistic.
Well, that's
and
what
he
I was-
goes into
Oh,
that.
Okay, well, maybe I'll hold that thought then.
How he's able to convince the rest, I do not know.
well, we listen to him, so I don't guess so.
So we have the story's pretty. Oh, directed by Jonathan Liebsman.
Who did the score for the first movie?
Yes, and he directed Darkness Falls. He didn't like horror movies, and he ended up directing a bunch of them.
But he's no fucking Bob Clark, dude. I'll tell you that very much.
No,
Yeah.
no. But I do enjoy this movie.
We forgot about Jeff Burr, who did 3, who also did Pumpkinhead 2,
Oh,
and Puppet Master 4 and 5. I just wanted to put that in there.
Pumpkinhead 2. Where can I hear more about Pumpkinhead 2?
You can check out Pumpkinhead 2 over on Movie Dumpster Podcast.
Wow! Who was your guest for that one?
Tony from Hack the Movies.
whoa.
Wanna
Whoa.
listen to that again? All right, anyway.
On YouTube.
I've always really liked this. So yeah, so it starts off, Leatherface is born, and the mom dies. And then her boss is like, ew, that baby's ugly.
Wrap it up and toss it in the
Throw it
garbage.
in the trash. I'm like, that is brutal.
That's
like,
a hell of a way to open your film.
I could see the mom living and being like, oh, or something, or like the family doing it. But the boss, he would just call and be like, hey, chick died. You might want to take this baby.
But they
somewhere.
also like treat it like she just had like a very like intense bowel movement and then she's dead. And this slop of shit's just on the ground next to this baby.
And they don't explain any of like what's going on with her or like the birth or anything. It literally comes out and dude comes down and he's like, all right, fucking toss it out.
I love that it's a puppet.
Oh, it's great, but it's also like semi-deformed too.
Yeah, the face is all like fucked up.
I don't know why though, because
It
looks like shit. But
It
also,
the puppet stood out to me. Just
yeah,
like,
yeah, no, it's pretty great. But like, But like in this new series, Leatherface has like this degenerative like leper kind of thing, this disease where like his skin fucking falls off his face or some shit.
Yeah. And fucking, what do you know it? He grows up and gets a job at that same place.
Well, first fucking Mama Hewitt takes him out of the trash.
Luda May.
Yeah, what is that her name?
Yeah.
She takes him out of the trash. I guess they raise him. He gets a job there. And he's really good at slaughtering. Yeah.
They really make him look like the greasiest motherfucker in this movie, by the way.
Everything looks so greasy and sweaty in this.
It's kind of effective.
Well,
I mean, I'm nitpicking that first one because of how serious it's trying to look, but it weirdly works better in this one.
Yeah.
I think they nailed because the color palette's better and that heat factor's there again from the first.
This is
film
more in tune, like look wise, with the original, with like the heat and the grossness and the grittiness
and the flies and the
smell
what you're looking at.
It's a big Hollywood movie, so it's a little overdone, but it knew what it had to be.
Sure.
And like I'm joking a little bit in the beginning of this part of the episode about the origin story we all needed. We'll get the real answer to that in a couple movies, but at least this one, like, there's enough moving pieces. Like, did I need the backstory to the sheriff? No, but it's kind of cool.
So that's the thing. They were smart. They were like, well, that sheriff was really good, and we don't want one-armed Leatherface. We're doing a prequel. And the sheriff, I love that he's not even the sheriff. He kills the sheriff, and then he just starts cosplaying, and he's like, Mom, I'm Hoyt now.
Well, the sheriff's a moron. He's like, yeah, I'm just about the only law enforcement in this part of town. If I were to die, well, anybody,
I'm moving.
Take over.
I'm moving, and right before I kill your nephew.
Yeah, and that's the thing that they mention. Yeah. That's the thing that they mention in the original, like the town, like the slaughterhouses went to machines, and it kind of...
And the town was dying. It was the decay of Western society.
Yes. Yeah. And that's happening here, and they're going to be left behind. So they come up with a plan where they're never going to go hungry again.
We'll never go hungry again.
And then everyone's just like, yeah, sounds fine.
They have like one awkward meal where everyone's grossed out by, and like, all right, well, we got through the first one. I guess it'll be fine.
Well, I feel like when Leatherface goes back and just murders his boss. That was so funny.
But that's even before... They start doing that, right?
Well, that's why that all happens.
Yeah, so he goes back, murders his boss.
Yeah.
Then the sheriff goes to confront him, gets killed. That's when they come up with the plan. And then I guess it flashes forward a few years.
I guess because Lee Ermey...
Some period of time.
Lee Ermey isn't
R.
like...
Lee Ermey.
R. Lee Ermey isn't like... totally unhinged yet. He's like, oh,
no.
Really? Okay. But then, like, at the drop of a hat, he's like some crazy sadistic motherfucker.
Yes.
Who's like, I was in Korea
He's
or
definitely
wherever.
got some form of bipolar.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes, he's definitely got something.
Yeah. He's got a power complex.
Like the human characters way more in this.
I would agree.
Not human. They're all human. I like the heroes.
The victim.
The victim.
The victim element. Yeah.
I really like Jordana Brewster.
She's great.
And I love they're like, we got to bring those low riding pants back. And they also do the same thing with her. We're like, you got to show a little bit.
The thing with her,
just almost her butt.
She doesn't have a big butt, like a big Jessica Biel butt, or a bigger butt like Jessica Biel. So like it rides lower on the crack.
Yeah, it does.
So you can see more of the crack because there's nothing holding it in place.
Yeah. Still looks fine.
Anyway.
I like Jordana Brewster.
No, she's fine. I like her in The Faculty a lot.
Yes, yes.
I like how, like, in this movie, how the story progresses, where it's kind of like everything... It makes sense in the context of, like, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, where it's like, well... They go to the fucking gas station, they meet, like, the Hewitts, but then they introduce this, like, highway robbery situation.
I love that element of the bikers... holding him up.
That's when the biker later on goes to the house, I'm like, I could watch a whole movie of Leatherface versus biker.
Right?
Yeah.
I would have rather that in this movie.
And I like the story with the brothers. Like, one of them got back from Vietnam and the other one's getting drafted. And like,
he doesn't want to go with his brother because his brother's going back to Vietnam.
Yeah, his brother might be going back, but the brother just got drafted. Like, he has the card and everything. And he's conflicted about that. His girlfriend's trying to help him. So there's some like, you gotta, like, if it works for you or not, I don't know. But a lot of these movies, you gotta humanize your characters a little bit.
Yeah, big time.
So when they get killed, you're not just like...
You gotta give a shit.
Yeah, and you have to know what they're saying, unlike the guy in the previous one who's like...
I'm here for weed and a Skinner concert, man.
I'm like, okay, dude. All right, you done? Stop talking.
Love when he hits him in the fucking face with the bottle. Sorry.
And then he starts slurring more.
Oh, man.
Oh, we match, and that's when he pulls his teeth out. Relevant, because we're gonna get to it.
Yes. Yeah. So I think the movie is awesome. I like the blood and gore. I like when she's hiding underneath her boyfriend. The saw comes in.
Yeah, that
She's
was
gotta be
good. That was
quiet.
good.
I forget if it was this one or the original remake, but when they're trying to like hide from the Hewitts and they find like teeth on the ground, I'm like, oh my god.
That was the.
Or was that the original?
That was the original
Oh
one.
my god,
No,
I
I
got
think-
teeth on the mind
No,
now.
the previous one.
Oh, yeah.
When they're like finding the cars and stuff.
Yes,
But those are like
yes.
dentures, right?
Yeah, something like
It was
that.
gross either way.
Oh yeah, sure. But that
Um,
fucking tooth in the original, that's a great scene. Anyway.
Yeah. And they do the girl chained up for dinner, which the last one did not do,
Yeah.
right? I don't think it did that.
No, there was no family
Yeah.
dynamic at all in the remake.
Yeah, it's weird how this one gets what it's supposed to be more, but it's leading up to the one that didn't get it.
Yeah.
But that's also the thing I'm saying, because like Arlie Ermey's character changes in those dining room scenes versus like when he's out of those dining room scenes, because he's trying to be like cheeky, funny weirdo and sadistic crazy, but then when he's there, he's like, "This is a blessing that we got these people here," and it's like, "No,
Yeah.
man, you're just fucking insane," and just say that. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel bad with like he thinks the one brother switches his name to trick them or whatever.
I like that
And he's
dynamic
just
too.
beating the shit out
Oh,
of him.
getting him to do
mercilessly.
push-ups. He's like, take you fuck 10 push-ups and you walk out of here, and he's beating the shit.
And that's
out
where he
of it.
gives his story. Where what was it, Korea? He was like
Korea or Vietnam, I don't know what the time was.
it was-
I guess it was Korea.
It was
yeah.
over
Korean-
Vietnam. I think it's Korea.
It's Korean War.
Where he's like in prison, and they would pick one person
POW
to
camp
eat, and that's how he got the taste of flesh, I guess.
and to survive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's manipulated his family into being like, well, survival means eating people.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess he's having flashbacks. Is that why he's got? You were saying that bipolar thing. Maybe that's it.
I don't know. I'm just
Power
trying to make
trip.
sense of
Yeah.
what you guys are saying,
And
where
then-
he's like kind of a little all over the place.
Well,
in this
now that there's
movie.
no more fucking rules and he's living in anarchy, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? He
Yeah.
can do whatever he wants.
This is the one where they run over the cow, right? And the cow like explodes.
They fucking smack
That's
this
how they get-
cow and it
Yeah.
splits in half.
That was gross.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, they
gross.
hit the
like I
they
said.
hit the car, they hit the cow. Then the biker comes up, tries to rob him. Then the sheriff shoots the fucking robber.
Oh, that was great.
Takes them back to the house, and then
Yeah.
we're off to the
Yeah.
races.
And
Yeah.
then the Leatherface is a lot better in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
This crazy man. He has like the mankind sort of mask.
Oh,
at
dude,
first.
he's Mick Foleying it up, and
Yeah.
especially in the Next Generation, right in the beginning, he's wearing like the fucking flannel jacket
Yes.
and the glove, dude,
Right.
and his hair. I was like, dude, that looks like fucking Mick Foley.
I'll say too, and I don't love this movie, but I don't think it's that bad. It has two of the coolest kills in the series, I would argue, or at least one of, maybe
Yeah.
the other less so. One where the biker gets killed and he's like on the ground being held down, and the
Yeah.
chainsaw goes up.
Yeah,
through him.
and he
that was awesome.
And the other one that I like a lot is towards the end, during that final chase sequence when the dude gets it through the back with the chainsaw and,
And
lift
lifts
it in
him
the
up.
air
Yeah,
and
that was
toss
cool.
like a fucking
That
just
was
piece
cool.
of garbage.
The last scene is a lot more is choreographed way better than the final scene in the
Yeah.
in the remake.
yeah.
Yeah, but I do like. It reminds me of the Renee Zellweger a little bit when she's tied up for dinner. She just starts making fun of them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of funny. I always enjoy when they do that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You said it has two endings.
Yes.
So the ending in this movie, Jordana Brewster's getting away, and then Leatherface was hiding in the backseat of her car. I guess she just didn't smell the gas from the chainsaw or the blood on
giant
him.
Stinking man in the back.
yeah,
Yeah.
who definitely doesn't take a bath.
No.
So she gets chainsaw, but I like that the cop is just giving a guy a ticket. Just wipes
Oh,
them
yeah.
both over.
You get the Wilhelm scream and everything, dude.
And I don't know how they get those cars because the old guy was the mechanic, but he just got his legs cut off.
Oh god, I forgot about that.
Didn't he cut the other leg off on accident?
No,
He's like, for
Even it
leverage.
up because it got nicked with the chainsaw.
Yeah, it was for
I
leverage.
guess like he was like, because Monty wasn't agreeing with him all the
Yeah.
time, so he's like, all right, motherfucker, now you're an invalid. Here you
Yeah.
go. Cut his legs off, Bubba.
Yeah.
Or Thomas.
Yeah. So what happened? What's the alternate cut?
It's basically the same. The only difference is instead of a chainsaw, which you just made the whole joke about,
Yeah.
it's just like a hatchet or a knife or something, like a butcher knife, and he kind of reaches around and gets her in the chest with it.
Oh,
the rest of
okay.
the scene plays out the same, but it's like, it's a little bit more realistic if you even
Agreed.
care, and
Yeah.
it looks a little cooler.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a memorable ending, though. Even
I
if
enjoy.
think
I
it's-
can watch this as a standalone
Sure.
and like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It it bothers me that they just become cannibals in this, and they're not already have a lineage of cannibalism that they're hiding.
The next movie has a heel turn that comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
And then they also kind of, I guess they don't ever really say it in this series, but the second one they definitely do, where like, I guess in this movie you would argue that Hoyt, or whatever the fuck his real name is, Father Hewitt, is the father of Leatherface. I mean, I don't. Do they?
No,
say
no,
that?
he's not. It's whoever that lady was who died in the
Oh,
slaughterhouse.
I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I mean, sure, adoptive father.
I
Lord
He's
knows-
adopted into the family.
I guess where I'm going with that is that he's like the father figure, and then these next two films that we're about to talk about.
Actually,
He's basically like the Drayton character equivalent, but now Drayton's the father, and that never really was the case in the originals.
we're gonna cover that in a second. It just dawned on me that Leatherface's dad is the slaughterhouse
Oh,
guy,
maybe
the boss.
Oh.
Because he like goes over her and he says some shit like about like, oh, I gotta stop drinking so much or some shit like that.
Oh, like some kind of like fucked up comment.
Yeah, there's also a lot of rape shit in New Beginning.
Yeah, which
going on
In the
knocks
beginning?
it down a little because I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of implied shit for sure, especially when the
it's-
chick's in the bed and it cuts to
Oh,
like
yeah.
the faraway shot of the house and you just hear her screaming while the fucking sheriff's on top of her.
And then
Oh,
like
yeah.
there's a scene where at the dinner table where he like opens her mouth and all her fucking all her teeth are knocked
I mean,
out.
guys, they are horrible.
Oh,
monsters.
yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
just something that was only implied, and now we kind of got it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
But yeah.
we are cutting people's,
Yeah, I was about to say that always cracks
penises
me up.
and
People are
vaginas
like,
out and
yeah,
stuff like
People are
that.
like,
but, like,
that movie shouldn't have that. I'm like, the movie where people
not
get
that
their
it shouldn't
spines
have
ripped out. Like, that's-
it's just ugly. It's real ugly.
Yes.
for this one.
Yeah, it makes sense, but it does take
Yeah.
me out of it a little bit.
That ends the Platinum Dunes series of
Yep.
Texas Chainsaw.
Now we move into the Lionsgate era.
Yes, the Lionsgate, what is it, Magnet Lionsgate series.